If you're a lease op, why are you letting them manage you? I mean, is that not why you went lease or owner op, to be your own boss? All their motives are, for one thing, money. That's all everybody's motives are. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about a business management software that's been tailored for trucking by owner operator Prime. OTR on the revenue. If you guys are a lease op, owner op, especially with Prime in the trucking industry, you want to check out OTR today, guys. This thing's going to keep track of your loads, your revenue, your fuel, everything, tax deductions, expenses, the whole 9 yards. Don't forget to put Freight Skater in the referral section. Get you a free 30-day free trial, just $15 a month after that. Check it out today. Alright, so I'm scrolling through comments, guys. I know I haven't been as active as I should be. I'm usually that way. I'm not a real good YouTuber. I try to put out quality content, not quantity content. So, you know, it's hit and miss with me. Some weeks I'll drop 3 videos, some weeks I'll drop 10 videos. And I might not drop a video for 3 months. But I will tell you this, I do watch these comments pretty regularly, and I've got one guy here from the Prime Inc. is changing 2 major things video. When we started talking about the cameras, they were wanting to put driver facing cameras in. Jeffrey Eulery, and I'll post the comments on the screen here. He asked me, he says, let me ask you, if you're a lease op, why TF are you letting them manage you? I mean, is that not why you went lease or owner op, to be your own boss? Also, how would it even be legal if you were not a W-2 driver? This type of stuff literally helps me to understand some of California's laws. Their motives are one thing, money. It will lower insurance, plain and simple. Sad thing is, in time, insurance will just go back up. Until then, it'll be the new norm. And then it'll be the new norm. Jeffrey, let's address your first question. If I'm a lease op or owner op, why am I letting them manage you? Well, this is the thing about Prime. It's just like with any company, okay? There's give and take. And even when you're an owner op, there's give and take. You're going to have brokers screw you when you're owner op. There's a lot more overhead when you're an owner op. Okay, a true owner op. I'm talking about you have your own authority, insurance, MC number, DOT numbers, everything. It's always give and take. You're never going to have everybody's perfect scenario. Let me put it that way. If it's going to be perfect for you if it fits your situation, and this is what I try to tell everybody. I've been with Prime going on 7 years now. And I'm actually in my 7th year. We've got a really good setup. Prime's always been good to us. There's been a lot of opportunity here. Do I get to choose every single load that I pull? No. Can I just pinpoint a direction on a map and say, hey, I want to go there for sure, and I'm going? No. Guys, having that lack of choice, because Prime's contract freight customers are their biggest asset, other than obviously other than our drivers, because without us we wouldn't be, Prime wouldn't even exist, is a small sacrifice to make to have the protection level that we have here at Prime. Whether you're talking about fuel discounts, whether you're talking about the vendors accessible that are just for Prime, the lease program, the training program, just the versatility and being able to do what you want to do and be successful how you want to be successful. No matter what division you want to run, if you want to team with your spouse or your brother or your sister, or your mom and dad want to buy a truck who would come in because you're here, there's so much versatility here than just, and the overhead is basically nothing. I mean, other than your truck payment, you have a high truck payment, but you got to think, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. We were talking about how, you can go to Peterbilt right now and get a base model 579 for like $190K before financing. After financing and whatever interest rates you get, which right now, interest rates are just freaking stupid. It's ridiculous right now, the way interest rates are. You're going to end up spending, $220, $230K for a base model Peterbilt after financing and everything. I mean, you're not going to get it for the sticker price. It's just all there is to it, unless you got cash money in your pocket. So with Prime, and you got to think too, with that truck, you're going to have a 6 to 7 to 8 year payment on it. It won't be paid off for 6, 7, 8 years, depending on how you drive, where you drive, where you go, solo team, whatever. That truck could have over 1 million miles on it by the time it's paid off. With Prime, it's a 3-year note, you know, and you're done. Truck's yours, $100 at the end. We have amazing fuel discounts. We have amazing vendors that are actually on site at all of our terminals. The leasing program is great. I mean, it's, you know, it has its flaws. Prime's got its flaws, guys. We'll do a top 5 worst and best video about Prime, but Jeffrey, I don't have the ego to tell myself, you know, I got to be in control of everything, because I don't. It doesn't bother me that bad, you know. And the thing about it is the level of protection and security that we have here in today's market, where I'm not paying $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 a month in insurance just for one truck. I'm not paying all these crazy factoring fees to other companies. I'm not paying crazy fees for a CPA to audit my IFTA every single week. There's a lot of benefits to being here. So that little bit of control, and like I said, guys, you're not being controlled. Prime doesn't say you have to go here. You can say no, and you can request where you want to go. You can request loads. Once you get out here and you start knowing these lanes, you don't have to actually just take whatever. You got to be smart about it. You got to, and there's more to denying and accepting loads other than just rate per mile. You know, you have to figure out what your situation is. For me, what I know out here about this market right now, and with Prime setup, if you're a solo driver, you want to keep your truck at 5,500 plus a week solo. If you're a team truck, you want to stay over 10K every single week minimum. Okay, now when you're talking about training, guys, when you're training guys, you got to remember that's an overhead cost, because unfortunately Prime relies on the lease their owner ops to pay the wages for the trainees. I'm talking about the TNT trainees. I'm not talking about the PSD guys that are getting their CDLs. You actually get a bonus every week for having them on your truck. But guys, you got to remember that's a cost. So if you are paying an extra $1,300, $1,400 for a trainee's $900 guarantee, plus all of his insurance and taxes and FICA and SUDA and workman's comp and all this stuff, which rounds out to be about $1,393, I think it is, a week. It's been a while since I've trained. It might be a little bit more now, I don't know. But guys, you got to remember that's a cost. So you want to take that and add that to your fixed cost if you have a trainee on your truck, and you want to up your revenue to that. You got to have standards, okay? Prime never says, hey, you can't have standards. You can't have something, a bar set for you and your truck where you expect to meet it. And it's up to you to make sure you meet that goal. So if you're sitting, you know, payrolls Wednesday to Wednesday, 4 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time, if it comes down to Tuesday and you're a team truck and you're training and you're only sitting at 7K, well, you got to remember, you want to be around that 11.5 mark as a training truck to cover the cost of that trainee. Okay, so if you're sitting at 7K and it's Tuesday, you know, you need to figure something out. You need to either find a banger that you can push over on payroll for Thursday for a late push, or you need to try to get something paying really good rate per mile, you know, that's kind of light and is gonna help you out on fuel for the rest of the week. Guys, it's all situational, you know, but the thing about it is to not get to that point to where you're stuck, you know. And Prime's gonna look at you and say, hey man, how are you running your truck? How are you managing your time? Are you being efficient? Are you being consistent? You know, if this load hurts you that you took Friday for the weekend, why'd you take it? Why didn't you say, hey, no, that's not gonna work for me, I need this? Guys, you don't always get what you want, but Prime has no problem working with you. And the trick to that is being professional. You know, don't deny a load just saying, hey man, this is just garbage rate, I'm not taking it. And some of them are. You're gonna have loads that you're gonna be like, man, it's just not worth it. It's not worth me taking this load. You know, but the reason is why. You know, you need to let them know, hey man, you know, we really need to be at this revenue area, or hey, my trainee's got to get by the house, this is not going to work, I've got home time scheduled, this isn't going to work, I really need to get to this Peterbilt dealership or this Freightliner dealership. Guys, it's all situational. Everything is situational. That's kind of one of the fun things about trucking, is it's never the same. Unless you have a dedicated customer that you go back and forth from, a dedicated lane, dedicated route, it's always different. And that's kind of what the fun thing, I always call it camping, making money while camping. That's basically my whole thing with trucking. Now, that being said, Jeffrey, I didn't go lease or owner op to be my own boss or like all the freedom and all this stuff. I went lease or owner op so I can understand the business side of things and grow as an operator. You know, and with Prime's protection net, basically their safety net is what I call it. You know, they're not going to let you fail unless you want to fail. You know, you're going to hear a lot of horror stories. Guys like, man, just Prime's a joke, Prime's a scam. You got to remember, guys, this company started off as a dump truck. You know, just same place me and you guys are at, with one truck. That's it. and it grew to this huge conglomerate mega company. And I can tell you there's not a company on the face of the planet that gets that big that isn't doing something right. It's not saying they're perfect by any means, but they are very proactive, and they are very progressive in trying to stay up to date with everything and trying to improve and constantly make things better. So also, Jeffrey, you said, how is it legal if I'm not a W-2 driver? Well, I have the choice to say no. I have the choice to request where I want to go. I have the choice to, sit if I don't like that load. They can't make me move. They can't make me move my truck. I have an LLC. I have a EIN. I have employer identification number. I have a 1099 that comes to me every single year. I'm not an employee of Prime Inc. I'm a contractor. So now AB5 from California is just, like you said, it's aimed for revenue. That's all they're wanting to do. That's why Prime won't hire you as a lease op out of California, because it's too much red tape, and you got a lot of other states that are wanting to come into it. This is one thing that you're going to understand. People will need to understand about logistics is there's nothing logical in logistics. Nothing at all. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense like it would make sense to me and you. Okay, so you got to remember that and when it comes down to, and you said all their motives are, for one thing, money. That's all everybody's motives are. We had some backlash on one of the videos where Robert Lowe actually asked everybody in the meeting, like, hey, what do you guys want to see at the terminal? We're going to spend some money. We're going to do some upgrades. What do you guys want to see? And I started reading comments. Everybody's like, oh man, he's just wanting tax write-offs. He's just wanting tax write-offs. I want tax write-offs. I want to spend money and have tax write-offs. If you are in business for yourself and you're an owner operator, or you own your own business, if you're not pushing for tax write-offs, then you're not running your business right. Okay, it's just like I was talking to my wife one day. We were talking about points for TA. The points that we accumulate and the credits and stuff like that from TA. And I was like, babe, spend those credits on food. Don't spend them on parking. Let's not spend them on scales. Let's not spend them on that. And you said, wow, that makes so much sense. Break, you'd save that money, whatever. Okay, well, I can write off parking. I can write off scales. I can write off anything but food. I can't write off food. So why would I not save the money, spend the credit on food, and get the write-off as well for something else, instead of spending my money on food and just saving money on something that I can't write off, that I could write off? So you got to look at it that way. There's always ways to be efficient in your daily operations. And guys, this is something that we could talk about all day long. But Jeffrey, everybody's motives is money. Okay, I'm not out here to see the country. I'm not at the point in my life where my bills are paid off. Okay, my kids are out on their own. They're doing great. They're adults. I have nothing to worry about. Me and my wife's house is paid. Everything's paid. All we got, we're just out here to sightsee. I'm not at that point in my life. So my motive is money. And I can tell you this right now. If you're out here on this road, get out here early. Get out here when you're young, when you're in your early 20s. Spend 10, 15 years. Have your goals set. And make as much as you possibly can. Make every single mile count, because you're going to get out of this asphalt what you put in on it. And Prime's proven that. There's a reason I've been here for 7 years, guys. There's a reason that the little bit of control that they have over my daily operation, okay, and they don't even speak of it. It's not like they're like, hey, guys, you're going to do this. This is how it is, and this is just the way it is. No. You have an issue with Prime. A lot of people don't understand this. Start making phone calls. Start sending some emails. Start making contacts. Don't just get on Facebook or social media and go cry about it to everybody. Because guess what? You'll find more oftentimes than not, nobody cares. And they're not going to really even reach out to help you. You'll have a few people like myself that'll say, hey man, give this guy a contact this email. But most of them are just going to sit there and bash you for complaining. Nobody wants to hear it. So Prime has never said, hey, don't contact us. It's your fault. No. Even though you're a lease op, they're still right there, ready to help you figure out whatever you need to do, figure out the way that you want to be successful. That's what they're there for. Nothing is perfect, but the only stupid question that you'll ever have in your lifetime is the one that you don't ask. So never forget that, guys. And as far as the insurance goes, Jeffrey, I pay like, oh man, I don't even know. I could go over it, but it's like less than $250 a week, I think, to run my truck. Might be $300 for operating cost, other than my truck payment. I mean, it's like my total fixed cost per week is $1,677, I think it is, for everything. That's truck payment, insurance, everything, like across the board. Once the truck's paid off, it'll be like, I think it's like $311. Yeah, $311 is what it'll be. So yeah, I pay $311 a week to run this truck. I mean, And as a team, you know, we have the ability to gross anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000, $16,000 a week. It's not a bad trade-off to kind of have a little bit of limitation there. And Prime's never stopped me from going home. Prime's never said, hey, you're not doing this. You know what I'm saying? And if there ever was a situation where a load had to be pulled from me for another driver, there was always a reason behind it. And they always let us know what it was. It wasn't like, you know, it was like, hey, you know, we don't like you. You're not getting that. You're not doing that. Or I've made a request and they'll say, nope, sorry, not going to happen. Never, not once. Guys, there's times where you feel like that's about to happen. You feel like, man, they just got to be doing this out of spite, or there's got to be something. Because there's always some kind of silver lining underneath, and it takes us to find it out. You guys see this YouTube channel and you think to yourself, man, it's got to be so easy for them out there. If anybody like goes back and forth with their FM or sales, it's us. I promise you. Because I'm not one of these operators that's like, hey, you're gonna do what I say, you know, I make your paycheck and all that stuff. That's the wrong attitude to have. I'm one of these operators that wants to know why. I want to know why this situation is the way it is. Why are these things happening the way they're happening? And what can we do to better it? What can I do as an operator on my end to be more efficient, be more consistent, and be more profound in how I'm operating this vehicle and this business to make myself more profitable? Those are the questions that I ask. And so, yes, sometimes you got to dig deep. You got to get in there. But if you're not getting in there, it doesn't matter if you're an owner op, doesn't matter if you have an authority, it doesn't matter if you run for Prime or Swift or anybody. If you're not on top of your numbers in your game, you can blame everybody else all day long. But if you're not being successful, it starts with you. So guys, I hope this gives you some kind of insight. Jeffrey, I just saw your comment this morning, man. I'm kind of sitting around waiting to go pick up a load. I figured it'd be a good time to go ahead and do a video. Thank you so much for your comment, Jeffrey, and your questions. Guys, leave them below, man. Drop a comment below if you got any questions or comments. I'd love to be able to get a video out with your comment, and love to address it, man. That's what, it's kind of fun to do this kind of stuff. It makes me, keeps me going. So thank you so much, guys. Till the next one, stay safe. God bless. Freight Skater out.